Hello, hello, hello. Okay, we're back. We're back. Um, Yay. Okay, let me cut my footing here. Couple things. One, you can see. Hi, Becky. Hi, Carmen. You can see I'm testing out this feature that shows your comments on the screen because it's just me, and that way I can see them in front of me, and I won't put them up as the banners. So that's okay. We'll be fine. All right. Well, let's get to it, shall we? Yeah. So quick history. If you're a newer pen friend or newer friend in general, this channel used to be Desert Inkwell. And then in November, I just kind of lost my steam and thought, well, I'll change the name and start over and life will be grand. And that didn't change anything on this side, but we started the Pen Friends Live, and I kind of just stopped posting here. And my transition back to here is not reflective of the Pen Friends Live experience. It's just what I want to do here. And apparently what I want to do here is talk with my hands. Tons. So let's get to it. Hi, Amy. See, this is better. I can see the comments easily. I was trying to do a no buy May, but apparently a no buy May for me is really a no way. No way. I was not successful, but I didn't fail. Depending on how you're looking at it. So a couple things. I signed up for this, and I almost showed my address, so I'll show the back. I signed up for this little white envelope to come once a month. Brandy Kincaid does a thing called Extravagant Hope. And it's $20 a month, and it's a mailer that comes out. And I kind of want to show you some things that are in it. So like it comes with some cards. This one says, "Take your broken heart and make it into art." And so there's some postcards and a letter and some book recommendations on these super cute, like little library cards. And I figure I have no problem, paying my copay for a prescription. But since I want the year and the years in front of me to be positive and full of hope, that I am viewing Brandy Kincaid's Extravagant Hope mailer. I didn't even see. Okay, I got to show you these. As a prescription for hope. That's how I'm treating it for me. I don't have a business relationship. We're not besties. So, like, I'm not sharing this with you. Hi, Suzette. I'm not sharing this because there's anything in it for me if anyone else signs up. I love it. Look at this. A little card like a cassette tape. And on the back is she's written out a playlist of songs. And if you're my age, you'll remember cassette tapes and making those for your friends or significant others. Hello, Peter. This month had some stickers in here. I love it. And hi, Subek, my friend in yellow. So I love it. Of course, I can use these in my planner and my journal. I can send the postcards. Does anyone else get postcard? Hi, Lenny. Hi, sir. Does anyone get postcard whatever? Like you buy a cute postcard and then you want to send it, but then you also kind of want to keep it to put in your journal or your planner. That's me. So that was Extravagant Hope. When we're not going into the negative, it's a positive show. But when my sister passed, a friend sent me a mailer from Brandy Kincaid that was all about grief and hope and how those two are intermingled. And it was, hi Claire, it was really impactful, and it was a thoughtful gift. I enjoyed it. I still have it. I'm not sending the postcards out for that one because that's that. Okay. So, one of my new goals for my life, and of course, Desert Inkwell. I have to get used to saying that. I'm going to call it Oak and Ink at some point, but it's Desert Inkwell. The friends and family all have spoken. So it's Desert Inkwell. We're not changing it again. My t-shirt, where is my t-shirt from? Endless Pens. It has, oh, I'm too fat. It has like the vintage ice cream truck kind of thing on the back, but it's nice and lightweight. I think it's Endless Pens. I'll try and put the link in for it. So transitioning, and I'm talking so fast, I'm so nervous. Okay, next, calm down, Jeff. You're amongst friends. All right, so create is where I need to, there we go, Becky, thank you. I need to focus on creating. Sometimes in there, you got to get a new pen, yada, yada. But I want to show you a project that I'm going to do that is related to Lisa and her writing desk behind me. So Lisa painted this and then used these really cool, like the design are these things called paint inlays, where you paint the thing, but while the paint is wet, you have to lay this thing on, and it's like it's not a rub-on transfer, and they're tricky to use, and I might mess it up, and that's okay. Art is art. So I got this on Temu because I am not anti-Temu shopping. I got this set of 5 little drawers. And let me take one drawer out. The wood is reddish. Is that cedar? Do we have a wood expert? Thank you. She would be really pleased to hear that. So we have these little wood drawers, and by my calculations, they fit pens. So the wood box was $23. You know how Temu just bombs you with coupons and whatever. So that one was $13. I got one for a friend, and then I'm gonna do one. We'll kind of see the progress on this channel as we go. And then that one I'll do as a giveaway when subscribers hit a certain level or something. So my plan for that one, Lisa loved like Mexican folk art. And so I bought paint inlays of birds and the sort of Mexican flowers, and then kind of an adaptation of a woman on the back, which will be decoupage, which I have not done. So the poor lady on the back of that might end up wrinkled. And then I got little mosaic tiles to do the top. So that's a project that is forthcoming. I even have chalk paint that she bought, Dixie Belle. And the color is the best color. It's called collard greens. So I think it's like a dark green. However, it turns out I think I may do like some of my recorded content as me working on the project. And it is related to pens. I have those pen tray inserts. So I don't know if I should do a decorated one as a giveaway or a blank one and stuff to decorate it with. Because then someone else gets to create. Okay. We're going to sneak a new pen in that arrived this week. That is gorgeous. And let's hope I don't break this one. I am in possession of the Esterbrook SD Avalanche. It's a diamond cast resin with translucent, this color blue, brown, and white. Look, it's my husband. Hey, buddy. So give it all away. I know. My poor husband right now, I have doom piles all over the house, and I hope to have those cleared up by Monday, because Monday's a holiday. So just sharing that I did get a new pen. What was next? I've got a whole desk full of stuff in front of me. This one is kind of, I'm pushing it on the create, but something that is important to me is continuity. So, I'm sentimental about things like the desk or art that my parents are still, thankfully, alive and doing very well. But art that they sent me a sculpture, a wood carving that's on the wall in our living room. And so under continuity, I didn't buy this pen. It's the Benu Ambrosia. And this is from Simone, who was one of the first pen channels kind of that I found and really would consistently watch. And this was her pen. She had my Sailor Go USA pen, which, I'm not anti United States per se, but I just didn't love the colors of it. I had a nib grind done on it, a scythe nib by Kirk Spear. Is it Spears or Spear? From Pen Realm. And the nib grind was good, but it was broader than I thought it would be. And so, I had sent it to her to try because she was going to get rid of a music nib. It was, the nib started off as a music nib. And it just was too broad. So if you have nibs, of course, you all know this, I think. If you have nibs, don't necessarily chuck the pen because you can have the nib ground to something else. And Flexible Nib Factory sells a nib housing that lets you use a Sailor nib, like a Sailor Pro Gear nib, in a maker body that uses a Yovo number 6 nib. So can you imagine a Sailor medium fine nib on a Bone Crusher Velma? So this was great to receive this pen. I love it. I think they just came out with new colors too. It does post, and it's a normal size pen when it's posted. I have a broad nib in there with purple ink, and I don't remember the name of the purple ink. What else? What else do we want to talk about? I made some stickers. Um, is that something you guys would be interested in? I don't know how many people have a Cricut, um, but I made these little flower stickers, and this was Cricut art that was included in Cricut's monthly subscription. Let me try and fan some of these out. And these are done on a matte finish, clear label from Page Labels. It was the Carmen used this and made me some stickers, and so I did not source the material on my own. That was a Carmen find. It's really thin, like washi, but it is plastic. It's very thin, worked really well in a laser printer. So I've been making some stickers so I can include in Happy Mail. And I made stickers because I have a gazillion stickers. Like I have a bunch of stickers, all in little binders, which were all credit where credit is due, was an idea that I had, but then Suzette Perez said that's what she did, and she does a lot of creative what's the word? Collaging and cool things that open. And so mine are in these binders. Again, $2 Temu. I mean, you can find most things on Temu on Amazon, but I love a budget find. So let me show you a couple other stickers because it's a good segue. I made this cute little dog sticker, which was not. And this one is very applicable right now. You might ignore the hangnail. Take the risk or lose the chance, which is, an adaptation of you. You miss every shot you don't take, but I'm not a sports person. So, okay. I started doing stickers because I was in bed the other day playing with my don't do it. Playing with my journal, and my journal it's kind of big. Has my initials on it. This is from a leather craftsperson in the Ukraine. It's very nice, but it's a larger format, and sometimes I know. Sometimes you're looking at the big page and it can be a little overwhelming. You're thinking, I don't. So let's see if this is one I can show you. Yes. Okay. I was thinking, it might be easier for me to journal if on certain days I could just open my journal and kind of the hard part was done. Sometimes I journal just kind of whatever's going on in the day, but sometimes I like to journal on a specific prompt. So I did this page right here. It's not overly overdone, but you can see this is a little sleeve here, and this is one of those tiny envelopes you get when you buy an Esterbrook Esty. It's the little note card from them. So the prompt on the top one says, write yourself, so to me, to be read at a later date when you need it, a tiny letter of encouragement. So, like some days we all have a tough day and you need a little encouragement. And I think the most resounding encouragement you can get is from yourself. So on that top portion, then I'm going to write myself a letter of encouragement. And then the bottom one, I speak English. Write about, oh, this one's not super cheery, but that's life. Write about a love you lost. Then write a tiny love letter to yourself for a day when you need love. So I left open space to write about a love I lost. Could be a family member, a dog, um, a job, a situationship, if that's your deal. But I'm trying to approach more creatively journaling. Um, some other things. Um, this one I got in some happy mail. It says, "You are not broken. You do not need to be fixed." When I received this card, I was having a kind of a raw day, and so I cried a little, as I am prone to do. None of that toxic masculinity, anti-crying stuff for me. If I need to cry, I'll cry. So I like book hinged it on there and said, journal about why this made you cry. I'm not journaling about that now, but it's in here for a day that I'm in the headspace to do that. So what I'm trying to do is skip maybe every 3 or 4 pages and do a page where there's an activity or some prompts. And then at the beginning of the journal, I included a page for disposal instructions. So, should I be hit by a falling asteroid, whichever relative sees that first, it has instructions. You don't know. We have the rule, if something happens, who's going to get rid of the phone history. So as I was doing that, then I made this little sticker, which I love. I think I'm going to make a bunch of these and send them to some friends. It just says, "Tell me about a time when," which is, I think, a good prompt. Like it's so simple and it's so basic, and it's certainly not over, but tell me about a time when, and maybe I'll make some stickers. Hi, Lau. Some stickers that go with it. So, if I'm setting up a future page, I can kind of mix and match. But that's my journaling hack for May, is pre-set up pages for later, with prompts or stickers, even if you're just ink swatching around the border, and maybe split the page. I did do that on a couple pages, split the larger page in half. And I'm excited. I have already gone back to some of them and started to fill some of them in. Because, of course, you're going to make them in your own journal, right? So they'll be in your head. This is my theory. They'll be in your head that prompt is in there. And so, maybe it's almost even like planting the seed and then you can come back later. Anyway, I'm excited about it. But I don't have a lot of stickers that support kind of that project that I'm doing. So I got out the Cricut and made some stickers. Maybe I can do a video somewhat about making fountain pen stickers on the Cricut. I don't know. There's no rules. The dogs are barking. What else? How are we on time? It is 72 hours, 23 minutes. No. Yeah. 73 hours. No. Good grief. 72 days. We'll say 73 days. 73 days until the DC Pen Show. I am so excited. I treated myself. I bought a first-class ticket from Arizona to DC. Really, Suzette? I would love that. Okay, so let's do that. We'll do that as a video or a live. I haven't quite figured out what the cadence will be, if I'm going to do one pre-recorded video a week and one live. It's kind of what I'm thinking. And then maybe some weeks, maybe not a live if I'm swamped at work or whatnot. So, okay, stickers, journal. My sister sent me ink, which, you can't be mad at a gift. I'm incredibly grateful. I got ink from two people this week. Claire Coco sent me a bottle from the Chicago Pen Show of Lake Michigan Springtime. Let me show you what that ink looks like. Is that what it looks like? Pretty close. Really pretty. That's what I put in the SD Avalanche. Okay, Sue, it's a deal. I will say I love Papier et Plume inks. This is the third one. One of them is a sample of something sepia, and it is the most beautiful. My only thing, though, is these caps make me nervous, like it's not fully closed. So I may try and peel this label off and decant it into a bottle where I can really make sure the lid is closed, because makes me nervous. So my sister sent me ink from Birmingham Pen Co. Two of them were colors that I had small amounts of from. Were they both from Lisa? Yes, they were both from Lisa. No? One could have been from Amy. She sent me a full bottle of boiler steam and iron ore, which iron ore is this really. I'll include it in a future video. It's a really cool ink, and I am super grateful to have a full bottle, because Birmingham Pen Co. be messing with us. They make an ink, it's gorgeous. You find out about it, someone else has it, you get a sample, and then you're never to be seen again. Wendy from Fountain Pen News does a lot of mixing of Birmingham Pen Co. inks. And they sometimes on their website have recipes for ink ideas. So I would love to explore that more. So she sent me. Also, who's naming inks over there? I really wanted the color, but I refused to buy it because they named it Shower Scum. I mean, I have a hard line. I think Claire has an ink called Poo, though. So, so this one is Corn Earworm, and I planned ahead. All of you people who just got the Esterbrook SD Coffee Monsters Co. collab with Helen, you know the one I'm talking about. I feel like this would be a really good color in there. It's showing on my screen as a little warmer than it is on the paper, but super excited to use this. I will say that when I was swatching these inks today, they seemed, and I don't know if I just haven't swatched inks in a while, they seemed almost like they had an oily sheen to them. I mean, the inks didn't have a sheen, although one might later. This one I wanted before, and they brought it back. Or Butcher's Broom. Again, it's a horrible image that evokes, doesn't it? Sweeping up. But, I mean, that is a pretty color. I don't usually care for the brick reds, but this leans in the rose direction. Serge, send me a message on Instagram. I think I have some, and I could probably spare, a large sample of it. I think if I do, then you're welcome to a nice sample of it. Can't wait to use this. I did get them swatched today. That's progress. Okay, this one I'm not sure about. It's burley wood, and see, you can see that green tone to it. Burleywood looks like it reminds me of Ferris Wheel Press Writer's Desk. Like, I feel like when if I go to clean a pen or something with this, it's going to turn the water neon green, which isn't necessarily bad, because I had a duplicate bottle of Birmingham Penco Extra Dimensional Umber, and I'm telling you, that ink looked horrible in a swatch, but it really is very pretty at least in a fine nib. So you're welcome. In a fine nib, I don't really see sheen, but depending on the light and the angle, the ink kind of looks green or it looks brown, but not in the way like a sheening ink does that. Okay, you saw this one. All right, these two. Super excited because they're my favorite colors. Eucalyptus stem. Oh, look, it like matches the wall. I mean, it's green. Of course it matches. Eucalyptus stem is, again, beautiful green. But both of these still have this. They looked oily. I don't know how else to describe it. You know, when you go to swatch an ink that sheens, and you can tell that the ink is going to sheen, how it looks wet? That's how it looked. And then I got my hands on Bonsai. Now, let's check. Because I love Birmingham Penco inks, but sometimes I do think that they release colors that are really very close to each other. So let's see. I am looking for. Okay, let's see. Savorite. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to fold this so we can compare them. Okay, I mean, it's not exact, although my husband is going to be like, that is the same color. Okay, that actually might be the same. It's close, right? Of course, they're not going to change the name and have a Lamy dark, what was it, dark lilac? Everyone lost their minds. Yeah, I mean, that's really close. That is really close. Someone on Simone's Discord, I think, mentioned that maybe Bonsai would be a close match to Savorite. But you know how it is with inks. They're not the same color, ultimately, and they are like the slight shade variation maybe makes it match a pen better. I don't know about you, but I am a matchy person. I'll do like full contrast or matchy. How many times I get $1 every time I say matchy. If I'm doing matchy, stop. I want it to be as exact as possible. I have a Leonardo Dodici. What's the full name? It's blue and brown and white swirls. And Birmingham Penco Boiler Steam looks like someone melted the blue in the pen and turned it into an ink. Like, it's that spot on. Let's see. I tell myself I'm not, and then I always end up matching when I ink a pen. It's very satisfying, I think, to match to match the ink to the pen, which is partially why I love black pens so much. I know it's a divisive pen color choice. There's a sentence for you. But I feel like on a black pen, you can use any color ink. And I know you can use any color ink on any pen. But since I trend towards matching, then I want it to match. But on a black pen, I don't have to do that. I can just choose any color. So, I mean, that if someone said you really have to pare down your pen collection, I think I would keep the black pens because they're probably the most flexible from that perspective. Let's see. I was saying pen, black pen, ink, matching. I don't know. I am also, I'm trying to show you some of the projects I'm going to do so you know what to look out for. I got this. This is a Schaefer. I'm not sure which Schaefer. Maybe a balance point. There's no white dot. I don't know. Little celluloid pen. But this pen needs a new bladder. It's a lever fill, and it needs a new bladder. So one thing I would like to do this year, and we can work it out together. Some of these projects, they can be intimidating. You don't want to ruin a pen, and I will ruin my pen for you. How about that? I have 3 of these little, I feel like, Carmen, you might like this one, the little calico, and then a little green one. These two are functional. The red one is not. But that red Schaefer I got on OfferUp, I think, or Mercari, in a bag of random pens and pencils. Some of them are Cross pencils, which when I was younger, Cross was a nice brand. I'm sure they are still a nice brand. I just so I would like to repair that Schaefer pen. I think that would be a great experience. I know there's a certain type of glue, the bladder, and then talc. I think the talc is to make it slide in easier. Sorry, Mom. So that's a project. The pen drawers are a project. Journal, I'm working on stickers. I'm working on. Oh, and then re-swatching. I don't like this project. I'm just telling you already, I don't want to do this project. I have my inks swatched on Wearing swatch cards with the little dog, and I love the way they look. I have them organized by color, and then I think someone said, well, do it by brand. I forget why. And I forget why I took the advice. But I moved them all around, organized them by brand. But now I want them by color. And so I know Carmen mentioned it, and then is it Tiff Reads and Writes? Now it was Journal with Tiff. Showed her swatch book and used the discs. So you can just kind of move the pages more easily. I mean, you could do that on rings too, but like regular rings, they get worn out. So if anyone has a recommendation on the punch, like this, the little rectangular punch to use with the disc planner, please let me know. And then I have to swatch all of those again. Which brings me to my last, is it my last topic? I don't know. I'm sad. I could talk forever. I am a talker. Destashing. This has been a work in progress for months. Yes, yeah, Claire and Peter do both. So destashing. I went through this desk. Oh, thank you, Carmen. I went through that desk and pulled a bunch of ink out of the desk. I went through boxes on this shelving unit and got rid of some rickshaw pen rolls, 240 pen books from Galen Leather. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I mentioned it on Pen Friends Live. So I got these like $18 pen books with a plastic zipper that aren't as wide, so they take up less space in my little office here. So I mean, there's in the D-stash, there's ink, and the inks don't have boxes. That's the only thing. But they've always been out of the sun. So there's a couple pens, a ton of ink, some pen cases, and general pen and planner related things. So I want to, I guess, sell them, but that's such a lot of work. I was thinking maybe I could bribe a friend and do a live where I showed the ink, swatched the ink, and not as panic inducing as Atlas Stationer's, where you have to claim the item, maybe a little less stressful than that. But I was thinking maybe I could do something similar and do a live and swatch the ink and have a chat and show the item. And I think I might just do a fixed price. I don't know. For any bottle of ink, it's X dollars. I gave a lot of the 30 milliliter bottles of diamine ink to my sister Anne. So what's left are, if I do $10 or $15, I think that would be a reasonable price. And so let me know what you think of that as a way to destash. Otherwise, I need to make a list of all of them, and I will probably post it on PenSwap on Reddit. So that's a thing I need to do. Creating space up here and space in the room, and technically space in the den because that's where that giant tote of stuff is. I also cleared out some pen boxes. I know I posted on that on Instagram a while back. Should I keep pen boxes or no? And I kept, of course I kept the nice boxes or the sentimental boxes. And I kept the, of course, box of any pen I was destashing, which there's some Sailors in there, Pro Gears and Pro Gear Slims. So that's all in process. I need to figure out how I do that, and I don't see anyone jumping at that opportunity of a lifetime to help me destash things. But okay, last topic for real. When I was getting started with fountain pens, I bought this beauty. And some TWSBI Ecos have come and gone. But this is the cerulean blue, which one of my favorite movies is The Devil Wears Prada. I think that the main, my husband says she's the villain, and I say she's a hero because. Anyway, this was one of the first pens I bought. I was gifted an Irish green TWSBI, so that, for multiple reasons, that one's not going anywhere. But when I started out buying pens, I wanted a TWSBI Diamond 580 so bad. I just thought the boyfriend is the villain. He is the villain, Serge. Yes, definitely. Yeah, how selfish he was. I really wanted a TWSBI Diamond 580, and I thought, why not? So I used some commission. Thank you for anyone who uses my code of Desert Inkwell at Atlas. I genuinely appreciate it. Genuinely. So I ordered the TWSBI Diamond 580 with the smoke and rose gold trim. I love a TWSBI. I know there's seemingly two camps, the Kaweco Sport camp and the TWSBI Eco camp. I'm not a Kaweco fan, minus the one that I have. I have the polished aluminum one, which I have to say stays, doesn't seem to dry out. It's always in my bag with little notebooks in case I have to write a letter while I'm at the grocery store. I don't know. Does anyone else pack for the apocalypse? I do. I mean, like, if I got stuck on a desert island, I'm good for at least a week, minus food and water. But so I ordered the TWSBI Diamond 580. I'm not going to say who and put them on the spot, but I also, I told you the no buy May kind of went down the drain. I ordered the titanium monarch nib in the cursive grind, which was it really, what an amazing experience. But the cursive was too broad for me. And one of my friends said they would help me out of the bind I was in, and they ordered a fine for me, and I sent them the cursive, and I'm very excited for the fine because the cursive was fantastic, and like all different angles. I've never seen a pen write a reverse write that nicely ever. So it was really broad on the reverse. I'm trying to remember which was which now, but very much like an architect nib, but then the opposite side was like a scribe nib. So one of them was wide on the cross stroke and narrow on the down, and then the other side was the reverse, narrow on the cross stroke and wide on the down. Very cool. Definitely inspirational that Ian Schoen just went with that and did it. I know the nib is, has a cost to it, but I think it's important to support people that are creating. Oh, you say that now, Tim, but wait, he put two S's in there. Doesn't dessert have two? I want dessert. I have a donut. So, yeah, I'm excited for the TWSBI Diamond 580. I do love a TWSBI. I love them. I think it's the right playful blend of color, and I mean, unless you don't like demonstrators. TWSBI had a non-demonstrator pen. A friend of mine has it, but I don't remember the name of it. Beautiful pen. Yeah, that's what I'm working on over here. I am immensely. Oh wait. You gotta love the end of the day fatigue meets ADHD meets I'm hungry. I was trying to combine multiple passport inserts Like I unstapled it, and I thought it would be really easy to kind of feed the staple through the little holes on all of the paper. Um, oh, okay. Kai was the one I was thinking of. And I couldn't get them stapled back together. And Timu had this $2.99 stapler, which I have a regular stapler, but look at this. How cool is that? So you can, I don't know. I thought it was really cool. And you can do like all different angles. It even has the little, the base plate at the bottom to staple on an angle. Very excited. Like I did buy some tools to create, including a paper cutter, like a with the arm paper cutter. Because they were getting me with the coupon, and it was a local warehouse item, so there was no tariff. I bought a $13. Oh, hold on. Paper cutter with all the size marks. I think I have to screw the handle on, but guillotine style. And let's say I thought I bought a paper cutter, but I bought 2 paper cutters. So I'm gonna do that'll either be in the D stash or I'll do it as a giveaway. And then lastly, now for real for last, because I'm starving. Remembering back to the time when I wanted the TWSBI Diamond 580. I think the TWSBI Diamond 580 is $80, 80, 85 when you get it with the smoke and the rose gold trim, which seems like a huge upcharge, TWSBI, because the all clear one I think is $50. I think $30 upcharge for gray plastic and that small amount of electroplating on there. I'm not down with it, but I did buy it. So I want to find someone maybe twice a year whose Grail pen is at a price point that I am fortunate enough through commission or just cash to make someone's dream Grail pen come true, if that makes sense. I mean, this does not apply to people whose Grail pen is a David Oscarson. I'm just going to say that right now, or a Mont Blanc or something crazy. But I think twice a year, I mean, some people's Grail pen is the TWSBI Diamond 580. Some people's Grail pen may be a TWSBI Eco. And I think that part of creating, for me, is creating gratitude. And that's something like I have the means to do is to pay it forward on a pen for someone that maybe they really want and maybe they just don't have the means to get. But that is my goal. More to come on that. Because I think that one, I think it would make me very happy to help someone in that way. That would make me very happy. And hopefully then make them happy. Okay, well, folks, in the name of dinner, I'm going to go. And as my mom would say, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here because I can't just leave this on. People walking by, the dogs, all of those fun things. I am so grateful for each of you that showed up and commented and interacted and supported. I'm going to not look at the comments for a second because I have not been making eye contact with the camera. I am so grateful and so excited to be back doing this again. I am going to have some guests on from time to time. And, oh, okay. We're never getting out of here because I never shut up. I need to figure out how to do a second camera on StreamYard so that we can chat and do it, but I can also show the project that I'm working on. I'm doing this, but I'm showing the desk in front of me. Yeah, so I got to figure that out, and then that's it. So, wait, I'm stuck in full screen. That being said, good night, friends. I am grateful, and I will see you soon. Okay? All right, how do I turn this thing off? Is it off?